Then all day I've noticed people off in corners and even in the sacristy of the church telling stories about me when I was younger. So I will set the record straight. Oh. This is going to get a little blue. So if you need to go to the bathroom or anything like that, now's a good time to do it. If you have small children, you can do a move called the human earmuffs with your hands. When I start speaking in Abraham Lincoln voice is the cue to do the human earmuffs. I'm going to do it.
I'm excited.
John, we have had our differences over the years, but by this point in our lives, it is pointless to dwell on past misunderstandings. We could argue until the cows come home over who used whose remote control fire truck to convince the other that their room was haunted. It is pointless to debate who locked who in a rabbit cage during a shopping trip to Academy. And then when our father asked, "Where is your brother?" suggested that he probably ran away and that we must simply move on with our lives. Does anyone even remember who it was who, while his brother was at sleepaway camp, forged a letter from our mother warning that there had been an accident at a nearby entomology lab owned by the University of Texas, and that a swarm of highly venomous African jumping scorpions was now headed toward the camp? Was that you or was that me? That was me. So he's tougher than he looks. So as I pondered how our present is built upon our past, I discovered a fascinating body of historical literature about Abraham Lincoln and his childhood friend, Austin Gulliher. Much like our own relationship, accounts of Lincoln and Gulliher vary widely, and some may be apocryphal. In 1816, the local school in Knob Creek, Kentucky was closed due to lack of enrollment, and the boys spent that summer hunting and adventuring in the forest. Gulliher recalled how they came to a stream swollen from recent rains and tried to cross it by balancing on a fallen log. Gulliher recounted, "I went first and reached the other side all right. Abe went about halfway across when he got scared and began trembling. And I hollered at him, 'Don't look down nor up nor sideways, but look right at me and hold on tight.' But young Lincoln did fall. The water was 7 to 8 feet deep, and neither boy knew how to swim. Gulliher was able to pull him out using a stick and then rolled him over to drain the water out of his lungs. For years, he claimed that he had saved Lincoln's life." Speaking with a guest at the White House, Lincoln told a very different anecdote about that summer, which was recorded in Harper's Weekly in 1865, so you guys can look this up. And now I'm going to do the Lincoln voice. "Where is my old friend and playmate Austin Gulliher? I would rather see Gulliher than any man living. He played a dirty trick once and I want to pay him up. One Sunday, Gulliher and another boy and myself were out in the woods on Knob Creek playing and hunting around for young squirrels. When I climbed up a tree and left Austin from the other boy on the ground. Gulliher shut his eyes like he was asleep. I noticed that his hat sat straight up with the reverse side up, and I thought, I would shit in his hat." Harper's Weekly, 1865. "Gulliher was watching, and when I let the load drop, he swapped hats, and my hat caught the whole charge." The article continues, At this recital, the president laughed heartily. As president, Lincoln had offered to pay for Gallagher to visit Washington, D.C., but Gallagher declined. The reason he cited was that he was afraid of trains. Is it not extraordinary that the friend Lincoln wanted to see more than any man living was the one who allegedly caused him to defecate into his own hat? Or that Lincoln's warmest memories of Gallagher were of this sophomoric exchange and not of the boy who saved him from drowning? I submit that much of the conventional wisdom about sibling relationships is wrong. Life is not a TV sitcom. Brotherhood is not forged through a series of predictable conundrums, each tidily resolved in 20 minutes and sealed with a moral platitude and a recorded laugh track. True brotherhood is founded on challenges overcome, as well as the pain of shared disappointments. When we look back on our past, what we recall most fondly are those very moments when the crap hit the hat. John, I am proud to be your brother. I'm proud to be your best man, and I am not ashamed of our past, whether real or imagined. Unfortunately, not everyone can have a celebrated friendship like that of Abraham Lincoln and Austin Gallagher. You and Hannah have a love that is founded on other memories and expressed in other ways. In your house, you and Hannah can leave your hats in any position without fear of reprisal, with the possible exception of Jojo, Hannah's dog. And so, let us raise a glass to Hannah and John, and before you sip, whatever you do not think of a stovetop hat.
I'm Hannah's mom, Gail, and I'm not as awesome as John's family to have something prepared. I'm speaking straight from my heart. But, oh my gosh, John, I'm so happy that you're going to be in our family. I really am. You were God sent to us because when I was pregnant for Hannah, I started praying for her spouse to be handpicked by God in her vocation, and both of those have been answered. And I knew it was answered because she has my sense of direction. Which I have none. And that's the truth. Lots of people here could vouch for that. But John happens to love maps and has everyone memorized. So, Hannah and I, last night, we asked Siri, how far is Lafayette from Austin? It's 362 miles. And that's the furthest we've ever been from each other. But when she was lost, all she had to do was call John and say, John, I can't find such and such. And he'd say, okay, what is the street? What street are you on? What's on the corner? And she told him, and he said, go left, go right. And she doesn't know north from south or east from west, just like me. So that was perfect, and I knew that you were the perfect one. And you have helped her along for like 2 years. 3 years. And still counting. And I'm sure there'll be many more times that she'll ask you for help. But anyway, I do have one bit of advice to keep lots of chocolate in the house. Because when she's distressed, she just needs chocolate.
This is very true.
She may or may not have gotten that from me, but I do have a story. One day, Hurricane Lily was bearing down on Louisiana, really hard and fierce. And I took off work early to come home to prepare and make preparations. And thankfully her dad had gotten all the batteries and everything in order. So I opened the door and she says, "Mom," she was like, how old were you, Hannah? 13. 13. "Mom, there's a hurricane coming and there's no chocolate in the house." And she had that look, you know, the deer in the headlights. So I said, like a good mother, "Get in the car." So we went to the store and got all the chocolate we could muster. And thankfully, Joe had gotten all the batteries. And it got us through the storm. So all of the storms in your life, all you need is chocolate. So you'll be fine. And if you need anything else, call me. Because I love you both so much and wish the best. Let's take a drink today.
Awesome.
Got it.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Oh. Hello everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Rebecca Rabelais, and I'm the sister of the bride. As sister of the bride, I have a unique view of Hannah. She was the little sister I always wanted. She was a happy, precocious child who liked coloring, dancing, and Disney movies. She had a particularly intense love for all things fancy. So I think your 4-year-old self would be very proud of you right now. I've never seen you look more sparkly. I mean, sure, there were a few teen years where maybe you were too cool for sparkles, but everything has come full circle and you are fancy once again. Hannah has grown into a beautiful woman. She is no longer my little sister, but a graceful, smart, and caring equal. It is an honor to know the person she has become. She has a heart the size of Texas and an innate sense of good that she's willing to stand behind. She's a great friend, as many of you know, loyal, patient, and generous. After Hannah met John, I would see them for a few days at a time when I would visit them here in Austin or they would visit me in Louisiana. And over time, I noticed the change in my sister. She was a confident, capable, and compassionate woman, and now, thanks to an accepting and supportive partner, those qualities have deepened and multiplied, and the world can only ever be a brighter place because of it. John, I can't thank you enough for making Hannah feel so complete. I can rest assured now knowing that my dear sister is with a smart, loving, and considerate man. I feel blessed that you have found each other, and may you be twice blessed for making such a loving commitment to each other in front of us today. We all wish you every ounce of happiness and success in your future together. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite you all to stand and raise your glasses in a toast to the bride and groom, Hannah and John. May your love be like the wind, strong enough to move the clouds, soft enough never to hurt, but always and never ending. Cheers. Clink. Cheers.